That's right, folks. I'll be editing this because this is just the sauce. We're going to be here for days, for God's sake. My God, these are just hot dogs. What am I thinking? All right. There's some soy sauce. And this sauce looks crazy. Look at this sauce. This is going on hot dogs. We're going to baste hot dogs with this. I'm out of my mind. I'm going to use the same thing that I used for the soy sauce. It's all going to the same place. It's all good. All right, so 1 tablespoon of molasses. All right. It's not, I just get some of it off of there. It's fine. And the onion, which I'm skipping. So we'll get the garlic in a second. Garlic powder. And I have my salt. I'm not quite sure. Oh, I know where I can get my salt. My salt. Kosher salt. Thank you, Alton Brown. All right. So we're doing a ½ teaspoon of that. So really what we're doing is a ¼ teaspoon of each. Math. I'm not going to pick that up. That's got molasses all over it. So I've got a ¼ teaspoon. So I'm going to go in here. And I'm going to, that's not going to work. Okay. Oh God, safety's off. Oh. All right. Yeah, that's good. Garlic powder, fine. And kosher salt. In case you're not getting the reference, oh dear. Talking and pouring. It's a match. Oh my God. All right. I like salt. All right, that's good. I love Alton Brown's cookbooks and how-to books and all that stuff about what to do and the chemistry and the science of how it all works. And the only thing I remember about the whole thing is that he said kosher salt's better. That's it. That's all I got. Okay, so we've got sauce. I'm going to do some more, 2 more tablespoons of green peppers off camera. I am going to do them because, as you can see, I don't have. That's what I've got prepped is right there. Because I don't want to bore you to death more than I already have. And then we will have a sauce, and then we will simmer this for about 20 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and get the green peppers ready to go, and we'll be back in just a minute. And while that's going, I will get the first round of frankfurters ready to go into the broiler thing. Yes. So I'll be right back. Okay, if you'll notice the sauce, it started to look a lot more appetizing when I started stirring it. It actually smells really good, thanks to like the molasses, and you can smell the chili sauce that's in there. So that's actually pretty cool. I did add extra green peppers in here, so that should be interesting. And I've turned down the heat just a little bit, so it's going to be, you know, a little smoky here. The next bit we're going to do is we're going to jump back to the stuffed frankfurter recipe, because that is asking for, originally, what it wants you to do is to saute them. So I've got a pan for that. Well, a pan, pot, whatever the hell this thing is. And I'm going to do just a little bit of onions because Cosette, behind the camera, does like onions. So she's going to get some with her stuffed frankfurters because that's just how we roll. So while that's doing its thing, I'm give it on a little stir here. Stir, stir, stir. Okay, and I'm spilling it everywhere. All right, I'm going to chop off some of this onion. I'm going to cut off just an end of this, and I'm going to throw this into the mix and saute these, or try to, for Cosette. Now, I'm peeling the wrapper off that they put on this at the factory where they manufacture these things, of course, and I don't know if it's like an apple and you can keep it on there or not. I have no clue. I just know that it looks, you know, pretty heinous. So anyway, we'll cut here, and then I will be back in a moment with very unattractive onions ready to go into a pot. How about that? All right. Now originally, this called for, if you recall, because I know you do, you've been taking notes, slicing 2 medium onions and then putting that in with a tablespoon of butter. And if you saw last episode, you know that Vincent Price had no fear of butter. So what I've got is since we're doing just a bit of onions, I've got what I understand the technical term is a knob of butter in here, and I'm just letting that do its thing. And what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to carry this over here because that needs to be there, but I am going to throw all of this into a bowl rather than haul this whole thing over there. Maybe, you know what? I am going to haul this whole thing over there because this looks like a nightmare when it happens. And I'm going to throw this in here so they can do their saute thing with a little bit of the green pepper that's left because that's, you know, I'm sure that's healthy. And yeah, so there it is. It's in there with the butter. And it's good. And, oh, that's probably why the blade isn't sharp, isn't it? So, I just saute this until these slices, or shards, or fragments, or torn bits, are golden brown. And then we will add them to the mix for the frankfurter. So, we got sauteing, we got simmering, and now it's time to break out some meat. Alright, so come around the side here for a second, and we'll get to this point, where we're supposed to slit open 4 of these frankfurters. Supposed to cut them lengthwise. And we'll do that. Yeah, this knife works. So we got that. So what we're going to do is, for cosettes, we're going to throw some onion in there. And for everyone else, we're just going to chop up some of this fantastic cheese here. And we're going to slide that right in there. Now I know they say 2 slices, but this is a pretty thick slice, so I'm thinking that's not even, is that even going to, that's completely and utterly wrong. So I'm just going to cut it in half here, and we're going to use it that way. There we go. And we're going to have onions in there too. It's kind of crazy. So, but you know, it was the 60s. It was a time of excess in onions and cheese and obviously butter. This really is this. I feel like Herbert West. I feel like I should be stitching things together or something, and then trying to reanimate them. That's quality right there. Okay, I know which one of these is going to be mine. All right, so I'm going to stuff these other 2, and we'll be back in a minute. And hopefully one of these will have onion in it as well. Okay, so onions, pretty golden. Check that out. All right, so we're going to pull it off the heat. Sauces, let me just give this a little quick. Oh yeah, that's good. Left-handed stir. Way to go. All right. All right, I'm going to pull this over here. And I'm going to go ahead and come over here. I want you to see the masterpiece that is the, these are the stuff, no, this masterpiece. This Dadaist representation of whatever the hell that's supposed to be. Okay, so we're going to stuff. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let that cool. That's probably a good idea. So I'm going to let that cool off. I'm going to grab my toothpicks over here because I'd almost forgotten the best part of this particular recipe. That's right, friends and neighbors. These go in wrapped in bacon. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Oh, it's like a little jacket. A little jacket of meat. It's a meat jacket. Alright, so I'm just going to use the toothpicks to hold this sucker on here. Well, no, I mean that's on there. So I've got my little pan here. I'm going to stick the stuff on, right? Oh, I love bacon. And let's see. This will probably look terrible. And I will be saved, taste-wise, by the power of bacon. And we come to the last one. Now, we've got to stuff this with onions. So first I'm going to warm, but not unmanageable. So I'm going to, how in God's name am I going to get onions into this freaking hot dog? I will say this. You know how this grocery shrink rate, right? Where everything that you buy at the grocery store has gotten smaller. I'm thinking hot dogs have gotten smaller. Because I'm thinking in the 60s, when you were just stuffing them with stuff and knowing, I mean, you saw what the pasta was like last time. It must have been excessive amounts of, I mean, this is probably nothing. I'm amazed there's not butter going on in these hot dogs. Swear to God. I have a hot dog stuffed with cheese and onions. And I'm going to wrap this sucker in yet another thing of bacon. And I still have more bacon left over to do something else involving bacon. Because as long as it involves bacon, then you know it's quality. So there you go. cheese and onions. Neil Innes. Cheese and onions, stuffed hot dog with bacon held together with toothpicks jutting out in all directions so that it looks like the worst Hellraiser Cenobite in history. So, we have those done now. I'm going to go check on my sauce. We're going to break here so we can have a chance to get out from around here. And I'm going to put the bacon back into its shrine. And yeah, so we'll see you in just a second.